If you ever want to add reverb, it doesn't get any easier than it does in a digital mixer like this. So for instance, we've got effects 1, effects 2, effects 3 and 4, which we had a look at before under the effects tab here. We can see what they all are. We've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. And just going back to the mixer, instead of being in the main mix, if I press effects 1, we're now in the effects 1 mix. That means that all of these faders here, if I turn these down, you'll still hear my signal coming out of the main right speaker. Because what this actually means is if I turn a fader up in here, it's going to send that signal to the effects unit. So there's two things I need to do. I need to turn the fader up here for the channel itself that I want to send over to the effects unit that I'm dealing with. So in this case it's effects 1. So all of these are going to go to effects 1 if I turn them up. And I do need to turn up the effects return. You can see over here it's showing me that my signal is going to the effects return bus pathway. But you need to be aware that we don't turn up the effects return while we're in the effects channel itself. That'll create a feedback loop and send the effects return back to the effects return pathway. So what we need to do instead, if we're doing front of house, we go back to the main mix and then we make sure that we turn up the effects 1 return. And as I do this now, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, there we go. So we can now see I've got my main level in main front of house, and then over here we've got the level of the effects 1 return pathway for the main front of house. And if I go into the effects 1 mix again, you can see that this signal is being sent to effects 1, and that's why we can hear the effect. If I do the same with the other microphone, so this one is nice and dry because we're not sending it to the effect just yet. But if I turn that one up as well, up she goes, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So now we've got the reverb effect on both. So it really is that easy to get a bit of reverb in your microphone signal.